Let's rank workout gear. What's crucial, what's hype, what goes in the S tier. Spoiler alert, it's... All right, we're gonna do the generic tier system that every YouTuber seems to do when it comes to ranking stuff. And we're just gonna rate some standard workout stuff. So we're gonna start with iron, which means the big three: kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells. All the subcategories of those, all the millions of types of barbells you can buy, all the variations of dumbbells and kettlebells, basically meaningless. It's a chunk of iron, you can hold it and do stuff with it. That's what we're talking about. So for the sake of this tier and the sake of your sanity, all those variations for most people don't mean anything. Sometimes it's easier to pick one up than the other one. Sometimes it's more convenient to pick one up than the other one. They all end up being A tier. If you're going to load the body, fantastic way to do it, grab one of these. Does not matter which one. But I can hear the kettlebellers already. But wait, shh. I know you've invested a lot in your special little lump with the handle. Ultimately, you've been had. It's no better than another lump with a handle, just a little different. Do you like it? Great. Do you think it's better? You're wrong. A tier, all of them. Now, another lump of iron is one that you might know I'm very fond of. I've been using it for years. I actually have a program on my website. I have multiple videos here on YouTube about it. I've been using it and teaching it long enough. I definitely can tell you its benefits and its drawbacks. And that is anything leveraged. Club, mace, the in-between versions, whatever. Basically a long stick that's kind of heavy at one end. Leveraged stuff, whether it's clubs or maces, the length doesn't matter. There's just different reasons and ways of using them as it gets longer or shorter, but it doesn't change their score. They still balance out. They're really good, possibly the best tool for very specific things, and then by far not near as good as these guys for everything else. So as you're being sold the idea of a club or a mace or any of those, heavy sticks basically, just know that a lot of the stuff that's being done online with them, the dancing and the flowing and all that stuff is kind of superfluous to your strength journey. It's not adding what needs to be added. It's more of a result of your strength journey. You're not seeing the people getting stronger from doing the flowing stuff. You're actually seeing them be able to do the flowing stuff because of their previous strength training. Don't mean to pull that rug out from under you. Just know that I've been using these heavy sticks for almost 30 years. I've been teaching them to so many people all around the world. I do know a thing or two about them. They're really good for bulletproofing your shoulders in a very unique way that no other tool can do. And they're pretty darn good at working on rotational work, understanding your hips and your spine to create positive strengthening rotation. That's it. They're not going to be the easiest, most convenient way to load the body for general purpose. So because of that, they are S tier for what they can do. They're for the shoulder building, maybe even the rotational stuff, superb. But they rank so low for everything else that I'm going to put them kind of averaged out at a B tier. This is coming from someone who teaches them and thinks they are super important for some things. They are an essential part of my arsenal to build very specific strengths. As an overall tool, nope, sorry, still worth a B tier.
Rings, portable, affordable, effective.
A tier?
Absolutely. What about sticks and stones? The weird stuff. Lift weird shit, I say it all the time. You could call it strongman stuff, because that's where our association might go. But I mean just weird things, and literally sticks and stones. Pick them up. I think it's an essential, if a little advanced part of any strength journey. So, B tier, maybe higher.
Sandbags, a tool okay. Almost every sandbag you can buy on the market will break. And I'm talking the sandbags with the handles that you can do multiple things with. Not Bulgarian bags, those just rank kind of a C or D. They're just kind of meh. But the multi-use sandbag that you can clean, you can press, you can throw, you can do rotation work, whatever. On paper, such a great possible tool. But in all my history, there was only one company that made an unbreakable sandbag. And I know. I broke them all. I hate going into buying a tool just knowing that it is absolutely going to break. No matter how great that tool would be for the time it wasn't broken, that predestination was just frustrating. Why would I invest my money on that? And finally, a company called Alpha Strong produced a sandbag that just wouldn't break. They're not available anymore. Except I found an Alpha Strong clone on eBay. I'm testing one out now. I'm hoping that it's as good as the old bags. I know it's an obvious ripoff. I'll make that video later. Anyway, sandbags, D, because they break all the time, unless it's an Alpha Strong bag, which you can no longer get. A. But we'll try out this new bag and I'll get back to you. One thing I'm not going to really talk about is machines for several reasons. First, I don't use them. As a general genre, they would rank pretty low. Not going to bother. But there's also so many different ones that you'd have to talk about specific styles of machine, specific brands of machine, etc., etc. It's just too big of a world to talk about. But that being said, this might be considered a machine. Cables. I do like cables. I like the variation of angle that cables have. I like the direct line of pull that cables have. And it doesn't matter if you have the super expensive adjustable ones that are in a gym, or if you have kind of a basic homemade version that you can hang from your rafters like I do. Now again, they're a great tool for many things, but not everything, so they're gonna go B tier. Also on B tier for the same reasons, although a little different execution, bands. I think bands are a wonderful portable tool, and you can incorporate them with iron for an even bigger world of possibility, but they're not a complete tool, so again, B. I know I'm getting kind of redundant here. Everything else, the pantheon of functional stuff and funky stuff and the weird things you might see on social media, anything that this guy sells you, they're gonna go probably D-ish tier. Most of them are not necessary. If they are, they serve a kind of specific function. None of them are more essential and probably more expensive than what you can get in the A or B tier. So I'm gonna suggest stick with these, kind of skip all the other stuff. So is there anything that goes in the S tier? You got one of these. To call it essential is an existential understatement. It's you, and you're actually all you need. There's some helpful things here. In terms of just moving and building strength, you, S tier, the greatest piece of equipment there is. And let's not forget gravity. That goes in the S tier, very important for our purpose. And finally, purpose. This doesn't matter if you don't have a reason, if you don't have an actual, developed, profound why. Why are you doing this? Why is the connection with yourself important? Why is strength something you covet? I mentioned in my last video how defining strength is so important. Dig into definitions and apply your own wisdom. When I first meet with a client, I ask them to define strength, which is going to help set up the rest of their journey. Because if we're strength training, what does it mean to be strong? The basic physical answer of the body's ability to generate force doesn't answer the bigger question. Why is strength important? Answer that question and you have your definition to what strength is. And so your strength training suddenly has a whole new meaning. And I bet it's just not weight on a bar or cable machine or sand in a bag. Purpose, S tier. Kind of makes sense that you and purpose should go together. You, purpose, and gravity, by the way, are the essential components of my Initiate program. You know I was getting around to this at some point. Over on my website for free, go check it out. I created the program as a tool for myself that I eventually shared with everyone else on how to connect with this to then pursue an even greater journey of movement and strength. It's free on the BodyTribe website. And while you're there, join the forums and let's have some more conversations about this off of YouTube. Meanwhile, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing with me in a strange location. And remember, you matter. Treat yourself and others accordingly. Bye.